Hi and welcome to MKT110 Marketing and Society. My name is Nicole Mitchell and I'll be your lecturer and subject coordinator for Session 1 2016 here on the Port Macquarie campus. If you are joining the university for this is your first session, of course a very warm, heartfelt welcome. If you have just moved to Port Macquarie, another big welcome, and we hope you enjoy living here in this beautiful part of Australia. Of course, if you've been at the uni for a while, I'm hoping that you'll get to enjoy another really interesting, challenging and fun session here at CSU. The purpose of this short video is to basically say hello and also show you around where you can find everything on our Interact site. Of course, our first face-to-face session will be on Friday, the 4th of March at 1 p.m. The details of this, of course, are in the schedule. As I explained in my announcement, due to small class size, the university has decided to run this subject in tutorial mode, which is basically we get together for 6 two-hour sessions during the course of the session, where we catch up, recap the materials we've been studying. We'll talk about the assessment tasks and so forth. So those weeks that we're not meeting face-to-face, of course, you're almost more like a distance education student, that you are doing your independent study. Now, tutorial mode, some people think it's the best of both worlds, where you don't have to commit to 3 hours a week of face-to-face lecture time on campus, but you still have, so you have the autonomy there to work or to, basically work around your other commitments, so there's more flexibility there. However, we do touch base regularly to make sure that you're still keeping on track, to give you that opportunity for some face-to-face contact and ask questions and talk to your fellow students about anything to do with marketing in this case, or anything else as well, of course, before or after the session. So, okay, let's have a look around now then. So we're on the home page now, and if you scroll down, that's basically just our welcome message. Of course, on this side here, you have a link to the subject outline. Now, this is a really important document because that really does contain all the really important information that you need to know. So if you're not sure about something to do with this subject, such as assessment dates or presentation guidelines or anything like that, please review the subject outline in your time. So the other thing here we have is announcements. So there's a copy of the announcement sitting here already that was emailed to you and you should have received. So if you can't find them in your email box and you remember seeing something, just pop back onto the site and have a look at announcements there. Okay, discussion forum. So this is like a discussion board. I've divided it up into different areas. So if you have a question about, for example, assessment 1, please post it in this one. So how it works, you just click on it, then you can create a thread, and then you can say question about part 1 or something like that, and type your message in here, and then press submit. And that way you will have posted the message. So I'll be notified and other students can be notified as well of this, and then we can respond. It's just an easy way to basically keep all our different messages together, and also means that, if one person asks a question, everyone can see the answer to that as well. And it saves me answering all the same questions via email as well. It's also a good place to, if you find something interesting in a local paper or on TV or online, an interesting YouTube clip related to marketing or any of the topics we've talked about, great place to put these as well and get sort of that conversation going. So that's the discussion forum. For my details, you can find them under here, under your lecturer. Here's my email address. Probably the best way, if you want to catch up with me, is to email me first. And we can organise a time to meet if that's what you prefer, or you can just email me questions, or we can also tee up a phone consult if that's easier for you. Now in this area here, learning content activities, that's really where your content is located. So basically we have a learning module, and this is broken up into different topic areas, as you can see here. And roughly each week has a different topic. To navigate, you can just press the arrow backwards and forwards to the different topics. It does for some reason, takes you back down to the bottom of the page. So it jumps around a little bit, as you can see. So basically each topic is set out with an overview. They're kind of like the main points. Some learning objectives. Now these are really useful, especially when it comes to revision. Learning objectives or learning outcomes is really, it's useful to read them before you start your activities, so your brain sort of in tune with what's going to happen. It allows you to predict the content that's going to come and give you a bit of a framework of how that works, where you're going to put these things. It's got a list of readings. You can see our textbook, of course. Hope you all have a copy of that already. We do use this a lot in this subject, and it's useful that you get the 2014 edition. There's also some readings there that you can click on and it'll take you straight to it, so you don't have to try and find it yourself through the online library. Now, because this is an online or a DE version of the Interact site for Marketing 110, because we're in tutorial mode, there are online lectures here for you as well. So these give a good overview of what the topic's all about, and there's also some videos and things to get you started and thinking about different concepts. You can see the questions here, and some of these we will also then revisit in the tutorials or when we have our face-to-face sessions. So to get the most out of the tutorials, I do strongly encourage you to work through these, because we'll be talking about them when we do get together. So that really allows you to build your knowledge and understanding progressively, rather than only doing some stuff on marketing once a fortnight. You really are expected to work through these independently, and then our face-to-face sessions are like a supplement to this material that's presented here. There's also a resources area here on the Interact site. We have lecture notes. These are lecture notes that are prepared by a different lecturer, so these aren't mine. I will also put our notes on here and my PowerPoint slides that we're using in our tutorials. However, these lecture notes do provide a good overview for you. You might like to print them off and scribble and write all over them. It's up to you. Just beware though, lecture 1, because since these have been done, our assessment tasks have changed a little bit this session, so disregard the material on the assessment task there. Also aware that some of you would like to prefer to print things off, especially if you're traveling or you are in an area where internet might be a little bit intermittent. So we have the easy to print modules there as well. And then there's a whole lot of resources here that will help you with your assignment, especially how to do report writing and things like that, because of course some of the assessments do involve writing a report. So that's the resources area in there. And now to the assessment items. Of course, these are detailed a lot more in the subject outline, but this is an overview here. The first assessment, what is marketing? We're really looking at some terminology. What marketing really, what you thought maybe marketing was before we started this subject, what marketing really is now, having read and studied and talked and about that. And then also we're going to start looking at a local organisation. So it's only worth 10% and only 600 words, so it's not very long, probably just under 3 pages for that one. And of course I'll provide a lot more detail of this assignment in our tutorials. Assessment 2, we go into a little bit more depth and we look at a situational analysis again for a local organisation. You can choose the same one as assessment 1 or a different one if you prefer. And we're really looking at a situational analysis and a SWOT analysis. Now, of course, you might not know exactly what they are right now, and that's why we're studying Marketing 110 to know how to go about this. It's really looking at the situation that an organisation is operating in, its context, its environment. And then assessment 3, we have a slightly longer report again on target marketing, and we're going to be looking at the same organisation as in assessment 2, because this follows on from the situational analysis and the SWOT analysis. So we're looking at this organisation, what's the environment it's operating in, what's going on, and then looking at, okay, what markets should it be targeting, how might it segment its market, and that kind of thing. And last but not least, there's also an exam for this subject. Of course, more information about that in due course as well. So there's information there about resources about exam preparation, how to prepare for your exam. We also have some self-review test topics, so they're little quizzes that you can do. They're not compulsory, you don't get marked for them, but sometimes it's just a good way to check to see how you're going and whether you're understanding everything that you've been reading and whether it's actually sinking in. EASE is our electronic assignment submission center. Of course, this is, because I'm an instructor, this looks a little bit different from what you will see. But of course, again, we can work through this in our tutorials. It's very easy you basically upload an assignment to a site. This is an area where you can look at your grades, and evaluation is basically for at the end of the subject, you get to evaluate me and how I went, and the Interact site and the course as the subject as overall. Now over here, there's some additional CSU support. There's the library, which you will need to use to do your research. There's other areas about learning opportunities, support training in IT, and other useful links are located there as well. So basically that's a quick overview of our Interact site for Marketing 110. I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys on Friday the 4th of March. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, please send me an email. I'm really looking forward to marketing. It's a great subject. It's very interesting. It's all around this. You will never walk into the supermarket the same way or see TV commercials or anything like that after or during this course, hopefully. So I will see you soon. In the meantime, hopefully you can have a read of the subject outline and get a copy of the textbook and start thinking marketing. Thank you.